something is happening to people over 50, and almost no one is talking about it. It's not just wrinkles, it's not just slower metabolism, it's not just retirement blues. It's a silent wave of mental health struggles, stubborn weight gain, rising blood sugar, unexpected hair loss, and a growing feeling that the golden years don't feel so golden. And if you're over 50 or you love someone who is, this is going to matter more than you think. Because in this series we're pulling back the curtain on 5 issues that affect millions of seniors every single day, but rarely get real, honest attention. First, we're diving into a hidden mental health crisis that's quietly affecting older adults across the country. Depression, loneliness, anxiety, even cognitive decline. Many seniors suffer in silence because they think it's just part of aging. It's not. We're going to talk about the warning signs, the surprising causes, and what families must understand before it's too late. Then we're tackling something that hits hard, especially after 50. Hair loss. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, when did my hair get this thin? You're not alone. The truth about hair loss after 50 is shocking. Most popular treatments don't address the real cause. We'll break down why so many so-called miracle solutions fail, what actually happens to your hormones and scalp as you age, and what real science says you can do about it. Next up, blood sugar. If you've been told your A1C is creeping up, or you're managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this part could change everything. We're showing you doctor-approved methods seniors can use to drop their A1C by up to 2 full points in just 90 days. No extreme dieting, no unrealistic workouts, just practical strategies that actually fit into real life. And yes, we're also talking about weight loss after 50, because here's the truth no one likes to admit: what worked at 30 doesn't work at 60. The metabolism shifts, hormones change, muscle mass declines. That's why so many seniors feel stuck, even when they're doing everything right. We're breaking down a powerful approach that helps many older adults lose 20 pounds or more, even without traditional exercise routines. It's about understanding your body, not fighting it. And finally, we're ending this series on a high note, because life after 50 isn't just about managing problems, it's about living boldly. We're sharing 7 incredible countries that belong on every senior's dream travel list, places that are not only beautiful but welcoming, accessible, culturally rich, and surprisingly affordable. Whether you're dreaming of Europe, tropical beaches, or peaceful mountain towns, this one's going to spark your wanderlust in the best way. Here's the thing. Aging doesn't have to mean shrinking your world. It doesn't have to mean constant doctor visits, frustration with your body, or giving up on adventure. It can mean clarity, it can mean confidence, it can mean finally having the time to focus on you. So if you're ready to take control of your mental health, your blood sugar, your weight, your confidence, and even your travel dream list, you're in the right place. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and let's start rewriting what life after 50 really looks like, because the best years, they might still be ahead of you. What if I told you that upgrading your brain doesn't require years of training, complicated routines, or staring at another screen? And what if it only took 12 minutes? Stay with me, because this might be the simplest brain upgrade you've ever heard of. Have you ever walked into a room and completely blanked on why you're there? Forgot a name right after hearing it? Or felt like your brain just isn't as sharp or quick as it used to be? If you're in your 20, 30, or even over 40, that feeling hits almost everyone at some point. And no, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your brain is overloaded. We're constantly switching tasks, scrolling non-stop, stressing about everything, and expecting our minds to keep up like nothing's changed. That pressure slowly drains your focus, memory, and mental speed. Here's the part most people don't realize. Your brain runs on a powerful growth chemical called BDNF, short for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it as fuel for your neurons. When BDNF levels are high, your brain forms stronger connections, learns faster, and stays mentally sharp. When BDNF drops, brain fog creeps in. Focus disappears, memory feels unreliable, and everything takes more effort than it should. Stress lowers it, poor sleep lowers it, aging lowers it, even sitting too much lowers it. But the exciting part is this: your brain can increase BDNF naturally at any age, if it's stimulated the right way. And this is exactly where the brain song comes in. The Brain Song is a 12-minute audio experience designed to stimulate your brain using carefully engineered sound patterns. No affirmations, no hype, no effort on your part. You simply put on your headphones, press play, and let the sounds do the work. These sound frequencies are designed to engage multiple areas of the brain at once, helping activate neuroplasticity and support healthy BDNF production. In simple terms, it nudges your brain into a state where it learns faster, focuses better, and processes information more efficiently. What makes the Brain Song different is how easy it is. You don't have to solve puzzles. You don't have to meditate perfectly. You don't have to believe in anything. You just listen for 12 minutes. People in their 20s use it to sharpen focus and learning. People in their 30s use it to stay mentally sharp under pressure. People over 40 use it to reclaim memory, clarity, and mental speed they thought was gone. And because it's audio-based, it fits into real life. You can listen while relaxing, lying down, or even during a quiet break in your day. Most users report feeling clearer and more focused within the first couple of weeks. With consistent use, memory improves, mental fatigue drops, and thinking feels smoother and faster. This isn't about forcing your brain to work harder. It's about helping it work better. If you felt mentally sluggish, distracted, or not quite like yourself lately, don't ignore it and don't accept it as normal. Your brain is adaptable at every stage of adulthood. If you want to experience what a focused, energized, and sharp mind actually feels like again, check out the Brain Song using the link in the description. Give it 12 minutes a day and let your brain do what it was designed to do. If this helped, hit like, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments if you've tried the Brain Song or plan to. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Start treating it that way. Now let's get back to the video. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you statistics about senior mental health that will absolutely shock you. But more importantly, I am going to give you the tools to recognize warning signs and take action that could literally save a life. If you have elderly parents, grandparents, or know any seniors in your community, this information could be the difference between life and death for someone you care about. Let me start with a fact that stopped me in my tracks when I first learned it. Did you know that adults over 65 have one of the highest suicide rates of any age group? While we often focus on youth mental health, which is incredibly important, there's an entire generation suffering in silence that we're failing to acknowledge. The numbers are staggering, and today we need to talk about why this is happening and what we can do about it. Senior mental health isn't just about feeling sad sometimes or having bad days. We're talking about clinical depression and severe anxiety that affects millions of older adults, yet remains largely invisible to their families and communities. The World Health Organization estimates that approximately 15% of adults aged 60 and older suffer from a mental disorder, with depression being one of the most common. But here's the thing that makes this even more heartbreaking: most cases go undiagnosed and untreated. Think about the seniors in your life right now. Your grandmother who always seems tired, your neighbor who stopped coming to community events, or maybe your own parent who just doesn't seem like themselves anymore. What if I told you that what you're observing might not just be normal aging, but signs of serious mental health struggles that could be addressed with proper care and attention? The reality is that senior depression and anxiety often get dismissed as natural parts of aging. Family members, healthcare providers, and even seniors themselves frequently chalk up symptoms to getting older, retirement adjustments, or physical health issues. This misconception is literally killing people. Depression is never a normal part of aging, and when we treat it as such, we rob seniors of years of potential happiness and fulfillment. Let's dive into what senior anxiety and depression actually look like, because the symptoms often present differently than they do in younger populations. While a young person with depression might openly express sadness or hopelessness, older adults are more likely to focus on physical complaints. They might talk about persistent headaches, digestive issues, chronic pain, or fatigue that doesn't seem to have a clear medical cause. This physical manifestation of psychological distress makes diagnosis incredibly challenging. Senior anxiety can be particularly tricky to identify because it often gets masked by what appears to be increased caution or wisdom. An elderly person who suddenly becomes reluctant to drive, avoids social gatherings, or expresses excessive worry about health, finances, or family might be struggling with anxiety disorder rather than simply being more careful due to age. The isolation factor cannot be overstated when we're talking about senior mental health. Many older adults experience profound loneliness that compounds existing mental health challenges. Picture this scenario: a 75-year-old woman whose husband of 50 years passed away 2 years ago, whose adult children live in different states and call once a week, and whose closest friends are dealing with their own health issues. She wakes up each morning to an empty house, has limited mobility due to arthritis, and feels like she has no purpose or connection to the world around her. This isn't just loneliness, this is a recipe for severe depression and potentially suicidal ideation. Social isolation among seniors has reached epidemic proportions, and the recent global pandemic only made things worse. Many older adults went months without meaningful human contact, and some never fully recovered that social connection. When you combine isolation with other risk factors common in this population, like chronic illness, medication side effects, financial stress, and grief from losing loved ones, you create a perfect storm for mental health crises. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: senior suicide rates. The statistics are absolutely devastating. Men over 75 have the highest suicide rate of any demographic group. For every 100,000 men in this age group, approximately 39 die by suicide each year. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the national average across all age groups. Women in this demographic also show concerning rates, though lower than men, which mirrors patterns seen across all age groups where men complete suicide at higher rates despite women attempting it more frequently. What makes senior suicide particularly tragic is that it's often highly planned and lethal. Unlike younger individuals who might make impulsive attempts that they survive, older adults who attempt suicide are more likely to use lethal means and less likely to be discovered and saved. This isn't because they're more determined to die, but because they often have fewer people checking on them regularly and may have more access to lethal means like firearms or prescription medications. The warning signs of senior depression and anxiety are crucial for everyone to understand. Physical symptoms include unexplained aches and pains, changes in appetite or sleep patterns, fatigue, and neglecting personal hygiene or home maintenance. Behavioral changes might include withdrawing from activities they once enjoyed, canceling social engagements, giving away treasured possessions, or talking about being a burden to others. Emotional and cognitive signs include persistent sadness, irritability, difficulty concentrating, indecisiveness, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, and expressing thoughts about death or dying. Perhaps most importantly, direct statements about wanting to die, feeling hopeless, or believing that others will be better off without them should always be taken seriously, regardless of the person's age. One of the most dangerous myths about senior mental health is that suicidal thoughts are normal when you are old and facing health problems. This couldn't be further from the truth. While it's natural to have some anxiety about aging, illness, and mortality, persistent thoughts about wanting to die or feeling hopeless about the future are signs of depression that require professional intervention. Risk factors for senior depression and anxiety include chronic medical conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or cancer, which can significantly impact quality of life and independence. Medication side effects from the multiple prescriptions many seniors take can also contribute to or worsen depression and anxiety. Cognitive changes, whether from normal aging or conditions like dementia, can create fear and frustration that develop into mental health issues. Social and economic factors play enormous roles as well. Seniors on fixed incomes may struggle with financial stress, especially as medical costs rise. Loss of independence, whether through physical limitations or having to give up driving, can be devastating to someone's sense of self-worth and autonomy. Bereavement is unfortunately common in this population, and grief can trigger or worsen existing mental health conditions. Here's something that might surprise you. Ageism in healthcare contributes significantly to the underdiagnosis and undertreatment of senior mental health issues. Healthcare providers sometimes assume that depression and anxiety are inevitable parts of aging and fail to screen properly or refer for mental health services. They might focus solely on physical complaints and miss the underlying psychological distress. Even when depression or anxiety is recognized, treatment approaches often need to be modified for older adults. Traditional antidepressants may interact with other medications or cause side effects that are particularly problematic for seniors. Therapy approaches might need to account for generational differences in how mental health is perceived and discussed. The good news is that senior depression and anxiety are highly treatable when properly identified and addressed. Psychotherapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, has shown excellent results in older adults. Medication can be effective when carefully managed by healthcare providers who understand the unique needs of senior patients. Social interventions, like connecting seniors with community programs or volunteer opportunities, can dramatically improve mental health outcomes. Family involvement is absolutely critical in addressing senior mental health issues. Adult children and grandchildren need to stay connected and watch for warning signs, even when it's difficult due to geographic distance or busy schedules. Regular phone calls, visits, and involvement in healthcare appointments can make an enormous difference. Community programs specifically designed for seniors can provide crucial social connection and purpose. Senior centers, religious organizations, volunteer opportunities, and hobby groups give older adults reasons to get out of the house and interact with others. These connections can be literally life-saving for someone struggling with depression or anxiety. Technology, while sometimes challenging for older adults to adopt, can also be a valuable tool for maintaining social connections and accessing mental health resources. Video calling with family members, online support groups, and telehealth therapy sessions can help bridge gaps in care and connection. If you're concerned about a senior in your life, don't wait to take action. Start conversations about mental health, even if they seem uncomfortable. Ask direct questions about how they're feeling emotionally, not just physically. Listen without judgment and validate their experiences. Sometimes, just knowing that someone cares and is paying attention can provide enormous relief. Encourage professional help when needed, and offer to help with making appointments or providing transportation. Many seniors grew up in eras when mental health treatment was stigmatized, so they may need extra support and encouragement to seek help. Know the resources available in your community. Most areas have senior-specific mental health services, crisis hotlines, and support groups. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day and has counselors specifically trained to work with older adults. Create regular check-in systems with the seniors in your life. This might mean daily phone calls for someone who's particularly isolated, weekly visits, or involving them in family activities. Help them maintain social connections by facilitating transportation to activities or bringing friends together for visits. Pay attention to major life transitions that can trigger mental health issues in seniors. Moving to assisted living, the death of a spouse or close friend, diagnosis of a serious illness, or loss of independence are all times when extra support and monitoring are crucial. The financial aspect of senior mental health care deserves special attention. Many older adults are on fixed incomes and may struggle to afford mental health services, especially if they're not adequately covered by Medicare or other insurance. This financial barrier can prevent seniors from getting the help they desperately need. Advocate for better mental health coverage and services for seniors in your community. Support policies that improve access to mental health care for older adults and reduce barriers to treatment. Vote for representatives who prioritize senior services and mental health funding. Education is one of our most powerful tools in addressing this crisis. The more people understand about senior mental health, the more likely we are to recognize problems early and intervene effectively. Share information about senior depression and anxiety with others in your family and community. Challenge ageist assumptions wherever you encounter them. When someone dismisses an older adult's mental health concerns as just part of aging, speak up and provide education about the reality of senior mental health. Help create environments where seniors feel comfortable discussing their emotional struggles without fear of being dismissed or stigmatized. Healthcare providers need better training in recognizing and treating senior mental health issues. Encourage your own healthcare providers to screen for depression and anxiety during routine visits with older patients. And don't accept dismissive attitudes towards senior mental health concerns. The workplace plays a role too, particularly for seniors who are still employed or looking for work. Age discrimination and forced retirement can contribute to depression and anxiety in older adults. Creating inclusive work environments and retirement transition support can help prevent mental health crises. Looking at the bigger picture, our society's treatment of aging and older adults contributes significantly to senior mental health issues. In cultures that venerate age and wisdom, seniors report better mental health outcomes. In contrast, societies that prioritize youth and view aging as decline see higher rates of senior depression and anxiety. We need to fundamentally change how we think about and treat aging. Instead of seeing older adults as burdens or people whose best years are behind them, we should recognize the wisdom, experience, and continued potential they bring to our communities. This shift in perspective could dramatically improve mental health outcomes for current and future seniors. The intergenerational aspect of this issue is particularly important. Younger people who develop strong, positive relationships with older adults often carry those attitudes forward, creating more supportive environments for aging. Programs that bring different generations together benefit everyone involved and can provide crucial social connections for seniors. Prevention is just as important as treatment when it comes to senior mental health. Encouraging healthy aging practices throughout life, maintaining social connections, staying physically active, and developing coping strategies can all help prevent mental health crises in later years. As we wrap up this discussion, I want you to remember that every senior experiencing depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts is someone's parent, grandparent, spouse, friend, or neighbor. These aren't just statistics. These are real people with rich histories, valuable perspectives, and the capacity for joy and fulfillment, regardless of their age. The senior mental health crisis isn't inevitable, and it's not something we have to accept as a society. With increased awareness, better resources, reduced stigma, and more compassionate care, we can dramatically improve the mental health and quality of life for millions of older adults. Take action today. Check on the seniors in your life. Have honest conversations about mental health. Learn the warning signs and know where to get help. Support policies and programs that prioritize senior mental health. Most importantly, help create a world where aging is seen as a continued opportunity for growth, connection, and contribution rather than decline and irrelevance. If this video has opened your eyes to the reality of senior mental health, please share it with others. The more people who understand this crisis, the more seniors we can help. Subscribe for more content about important health and social issues, and let me know in the comments how you plan to support the seniors in your life. Together, we can make a difference in addressing this hidden crisis. Picture this. You're getting ready for your day, and you notice more hair in your brush than usual. You part your hair and see more scalp showing through. Sound familiar? If you're over 50, you're definitely not alone. But here's what might shock you: almost everything you've been told about treating hair loss after 50 is either outdated, ineffective, or just plain wrong. Today I'm going to reveal the real science behind senior hair loss and expose the treatments that actually work versus the ones that are just stealing your money. Let me start with a story that might sound familiar. My neighbor Janet came to me in tears last month. She'd spent over $2,000 in the past year on everything from expensive shampoos promising to regrow hair to supplements that claimed to reverse aging. Her bathroom cabinet looked like a pharmacy, filled with bottles and potions that promised the world but delivered nothing. Meanwhile, her hair continued thinning and her confidence plummeted. Janet's story represents millions of seniors who fall prey to marketing myths and ineffective treatments. The hair loss industry is worth billions. And unfortunately, much of it preys on our insecurities and lack of understanding about what actually happens to our hair as we age. Here's the truth that nobody talks about. Hair loss after 50 is fundamentally different from hair loss in younger people. Your body is changing in ways that most treatments completely ignore. The hormonal shifts, the decreased circulation, the changes in nutrient absorption, all of these factors create a perfect storm that requires a completely different approach than what worked in your 20s or 30s. Let's start by understanding what's really happening to your hair. When you reach your 50s and beyond, several biological processes converge to affect your hair. First, your hair growth cycle naturally slows down. Where you might have had a hair growth phase lasting 6 years in your youth, it might now last only 2 to 3 years. This means each hair follicle produces thinner, shorter hairs before entering the resting phase. But that's just the beginning. Your scalp's blood circulation decreases with age, meaning fewer nutrients reach your hair follicles. The oil glands in your scalp also produce less sebum, making your hair drier and more brittle. Add to this the hormonal changes that both men and women experience, and you have a complex web of factors that simple treatments cannot address. Now here's where it gets really interesting and where the industry has been misleading you. For years, men and women experience completely different patterns of hair loss after 50, yet most treatments are marketed as one-size-fits-all solutions. This is like trying to treat diabetes and heart disease with the same medication. It simply doesn't work. For men over 50, the pattern is usually quite predictable. Male pattern baldness, scientifically known as androgenetic alopecia, typically follows a specific progression. It often starts with a receding hairline, creating the classic M shape, then progresses to thinning at the crown. The hormone dihydrotestosterone, or DHT, plays a major role here. As testosterone converts to DHT, it miniaturizes hair follicles, particularly in genetically susceptible areas. But here's what many men don't realize: age makes this process more complex. After 50, men also deal with decreased protein synthesis, reduced collagen production, and often chronic inflammation that can accelerate hair loss. The scalp becomes less elastic, and the hair follicles become less resilient to hormonal fluctuations. Women's hair loss after 50 follows completely different rules. While men typically see distinct patterns, women more often experience diffuse thinning across the entire scalp. This is largely due to hormonal changes during and after menopause. Estrogen levels drop significantly, while androgen sensitivity increases. The result is overall hair thinning rather than specific bald patches. Women also face unique challenges that men don't. The hormonal roller coaster of menopause can cause hair to become not just thinner, but also change texture completely. Many women report their hair becoming coarser, frizzier, or losing its natural color more rapidly. The thyroid changes that often accompany menopause can further complicate hair health. But perhaps the most overlooked factor in women's hair loss after 50 is the cumulative damage from decades of styling. Years of chemical processing, heat styling, and tight hairstyles create a compound effect that becomes more apparent as the hair's natural regenerative abilities decline. Understanding these differences is crucial because it explains why so many treatments fail. A treatment designed for male pattern baldness will be largely ineffective for menopausal hair changes and vice versa. Yet the market is flooded with generic solutions that ignore these fundamental differences. Let's dive into the treatments that actually work, starting with what science has proven effective for men over 50. The gold standard remains minoxidil, but not in the way most people use it. Many men apply it sporadically or give up after a few weeks. The reality is that minoxidil works by improving blood flow to hair follicles. But this takes time, usually 3 to 6 months before you see results, and it requires consistent daily application. For men, finasteride can also be effective, but it comes with considerations that are especially important after 50. This medication blocks DHT production, but it can have side effects that become more problematic with age, including impacts on prostate health and sexual function. The decision to use finasteride should always involve a thorough discussion with a healthcare provider who understands your complete health picture. One treatment that shows particular promise for senior men is low-level laser therapy. Recent studies suggest that certain wavelengths of red light can stimulate cellular activity in hair follicles, promoting growth and thickening existing hair. While this technology is relatively new, the results are encouraging, especially when combined with other treatments. For women over 50, the treatment landscape is more complex and often requires a multi-pronged approach. Minoxidil can be effective for women too, but the concentration and application method may need to be different. Women's scalps are often more sensitive, and hormonal fluctuations can affect how well treatments are absorbed. One of the most overlooked treatments for women is addressing underlying hormonal imbalances. Many women see significant improvement in hair thickness and growth when they work with healthcare providers to optimize their hormone levels. This doesn't necessarily mean hormone replacement therapy, though that can be part of the solution. It might involve supporting thyroid function, addressing insulin resistance, or ensuring adequate levels of key nutrients. Speaking of nutrition, this is where many senior women can see dramatic improvements with the right approach. Iron deficiency is incredibly common in postmenopausal women and is a major cause of hair thinning. But it's not just about taking iron supplements. Absorption becomes more challenging with age, and iron needs to be balanced with other nutrients like vitamin C and B vitamins. Protein intake becomes crucial for both men and women after 50. As our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, many seniors unknowingly develop deficiencies that directly impact hair health. Hair is essentially protein, and without adequate building blocks, new growth will be weak and sparse. One treatment that works well for both men and women is scalp massage with specific essential oils. Research shows that rosemary oil can be as effective as minoxidil for some people, while peppermint oil improves circulation. The key is consistency and proper dilution. These oils are potent and need to be used correctly. Platelet-rich plasma therapy, or PARP, is gaining recognition as an effective treatment for both senior men and women. This involves drawing a small amount of your blood, concentrating the platelets, and injecting them into the scalp. The growth factors in platelets can stimulate dormant hair follicles and improve the thickness of existing hair. Now let's talk about what doesn't work, and this is where you can save yourself thousands of dollars and months of frustration. The hair loss industry is notorious for making claims that sound scientific but have no basis in real research. First on the list of ineffective treatments are most hair growth shampoos. While a good shampoo is important for scalp health, no shampoo can penetrate deeply enough to affect the hair follicle where growth actually occurs. These products often contain ingredients like caffeine or botanical extracts that sound promising but have no proven effect on hair growth when applied topically for the brief time they are on your scalp. Similarly, most hair growth vitamins and supplements are ineffective unless you have specific deficiencies. The vitamin industry has convinced many people that more is always better, but your hair follicles can only use what they need. Taking massive doses of biotin, for example, won't help if you already have adequate levels, and can actually interfere with certain medical tests. Laser combs and similar devices marketed for home use are generally too weak to have any meaningful effect. While professional-grade laser therapy shows promise, the consumer devices you see advertised online typically don't deliver enough energy to stimulate cellular changes in hair follicles. One of the most persistent myths is that frequent washing causes hair loss. This leads many seniors to wash their hair less frequently, which actually makes hair loss more noticeable by allowing shed hairs to accumulate. Normal hair washing doesn't cause hair loss, it simply removes hairs that have already naturally shed. Another dangerous myth is that natural always means safe and effective. Many so-called natural hair treatments can actually damage your scalp or interact with medications. Some herbal supplements marketed for hair growth can affect blood pressure medications or hormone treatments that many seniors rely on. The myth of miracle cures is perhaps the most harmful. No treatment can completely reverse significant hair loss overnight or restore a full head of hair after substantial thinning has occurred. Legitimate treatments work gradually and require patience and consistency. Understanding realistic expectations is crucial for seniors considering hair loss treatments. If you've lost 50% of your hair volume, no treatment will restore it to what you had at 25. However, many treatments can slow further loss, improve the health and thickness of existing hair, and in some cases, promote modest regrowth. The key is starting treatment early in the hair loss process when follicles are still active but miniaturized. Once follicles have been dormant for several years, they become much more difficult to reactivate. This is why waiting and hoping the problem will resolve itself usually leads to disappointment. For both men and women over 50, combination approaches often work better than single treatments. This might mean using minoxidil consistently while addressing nutritional deficiencies and incorporating scalp massage or laser therapy. The synergistic effect of multiple approaches can be more effective than relying on any single treatment. Lifestyle factors play a bigger role in hair health after 50 than most people realize. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and inadequate nutrition all become more impactful as our bodies become less resilient. Managing these factors isn't just good for overall health, it directly affects hair growth and retention. Sleep quality deserves special attention. Growth hormone, which plays a role in hair follicle health, is primarily released during deep sleep phases. Many seniors experience sleep disruptions that can indirectly contribute to hair thinning. Addressing sleep issues may improve not just hair health but overall quality of life. Stress management becomes increasingly important as we age. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, which can push hair follicles into the resting phase prematurely. This is why many people notice accelerated hair loss during periods of significant life stress, retirement, health issues, or loss of loved ones. The psychological impact of hair loss after 50 is often underestimated. Many seniors report feeling invisible or less attractive, which can lead to social isolation and depression. Addressing these emotional aspects is as important as treating the physical hair loss. Support groups, counseling, or simply talking openly about the experience can be incredibly valuable. For those considering more dramatic interventions, hair transplant technology has advanced significantly. Modern techniques like FU or follicular unit extraction can produce natural-looking results even for seniors. However, the success depends on having sufficient donor hair and realistic expectations about the outcome. Non-surgical options have also improved dramatically. High-quality wigs and hairpieces are now virtually undetectable and can be a practical solution for those who prefer not to wait for slow treatment results or who are candidates for other interventions. Scalp micropigmentation, which involves tattooing tiny dots to simulate hair follicles, can create the appearance of fuller hair, especially for men with significant hair loss. This technique works particularly well for creating the look of a closely shaved head with natural density. The future of hair loss treatment looks promising. With several innovative approaches in development, stem cell therapy, gene therapy, and advanced growth factors are all showing potential in clinical trials. However, these treatments are still years away from wide availability and will likely be expensive initially. What's available now, when used correctly and consistently, can make a meaningful difference for many seniors experiencing hair loss. The key is understanding your specific type of hair loss, setting realistic expectations, and being patient with the process. Prevention strategies become more important with age. Protecting your hair from unnecessary damage, maintaining good nutrition, managing stress, and addressing health issues promptly can all help preserve the hair you have. For seniors just beginning to notice hair changes, early intervention is crucial. Don't wait until significant thinning has occurred to seek help. A dermatologist or healthcare provider familiar with hair loss can help identify the underlying causes and recommend appropriate treatments. Regular monitoring is important once you start any treatment regimen. Take photos from consistent angles and lighting to track progress objectively. Many people give up on effective treatments because they don't notice gradual improvements, while others continue ineffective treatments because they convince themselves they see results that aren't really there. The bottom line is that hair loss after 50 is common, treatable to varying degrees, and nothing to be ashamed of. With the right information and approach, many seniors can maintain or even improve their hair health. The key is separating science from marketing hype, setting realistic expectations, and working with knowledgeable healthcare providers. Remember Janet from the beginning of our discussion? After learning about evidence-based treatments and stopping the ineffective products, she focused on a combination of minoxidil, improved nutrition, and stress management. 6 months later, while she didn't regain all her lost hair, the thinning stopped, her existing hair became noticeably thicker, and most importantly, she regained her confidence. Your hair loss journey is unique, and what works for others may not work exactly the same for you. but armed with accurate information about what actually works versus what's just marketing hype, you can make informed decisions and potentially save yourself both money and disappointment. The most important thing to remember is that you're not powerless against hair loss after 50. While you can't turn back the clock completely, you can take meaningful steps to improve your hair health and appearance. Focus on evidence-based treatments, be patient with the process, and don't let anyone convince you that expensive miracle cures are your only option. Understanding the real science behind senior hair loss, recognizing the differences between men's and women's experiences, and avoiding the countless ineffective treatments on the market puts you in control of your hair health journey. Take action based on facts, not fear or false promises, and you'll be much more likely to achieve the results you're hoping for. Did you know that after age 65, your risk of diabetes complications skyrockets by 400%? But here's what most doctors won't tell you. Lowering your A1C as a senior isn't just possible, it's often easier than you think. I'm going to show you 5 evidence-based strategies that helped my 72-year-old neighbor drop her A1C from 9.2 to 7.1 in just 3 months, and why the conventional advice you've been getting might actually be working against you. If you're over 60 and struggling with blood sugar control, this video could literally add years to your life. Let's dive in. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Managing diabetes as a senior comes with unique challenges that younger people simply don't face. Your metabolism has slowed down, your muscle mass has decreased, and your body processes insulin differently than it did in your 30s or 40s. Many seniors I talk to feel frustrated because the same strategies that worked for their younger friends or family members just aren't producing results for them. The truth is, one-size-fits-all diabetes advice is particularly ineffective for seniors. Your body has different needs now, and your approach to blood sugar management should reflect that reality. The good news? When you understand these differences and work with your changing physiology instead of against it, you can achieve remarkable improvements in your A1C levels. Let me start with strategy number 1, and this might surprise you. It's not about cutting carbs to zero or exercising for hours every day. It's about timing. Meal timing becomes absolutely critical as we age because our circadian rhythms change, affecting how our bodies process glucose throughout the day. Research shows that seniors who eat their largest meal before 3 p.m. consistently have better blood sugar control than those who eat their biggest meal in the evening. This isn't just about calories, it's about working with your body's natural insulin sensitivity patterns. As we age, our insulin sensitivity decreases more dramatically in the evening hours. By front-loading your calories earlier in the day, you're giving your body the best chance to process those nutrients effectively. Here's exactly what I recommend. Make breakfast your largest meal, lunch moderate, and dinner your smallest. I know this goes against conventional wisdom about light breakfasts, but for seniors managing diabetes, this flip can be game-changing. One study followed 200 seniors for 6 months, and those who adopted this eating pattern saw an average A1C reduction of 1.4 points. Strategy number 2 focuses on a nutrient that most people overlook, magnesium. This mineral becomes increasingly important for blood sugar control as we age, yet seniors are chronically deficient in it. Here's why this matters for your A1C levels. Magnesium is directly involved in glucose metabolism and insulin action. When you're deficient, your cells become more resistant to insulin, making it harder to maintain healthy blood sugar levels. The problem is that as we age, our ability to absorb magnesium decreases, and many medications commonly prescribed to seniors further deplete magnesium stores. Foods rich in magnesium include leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. But here's the key for seniors: you need to be strategic about absorption. Taking magnesium with vitamin D improves uptake, and spreading magnesium-rich foods throughout the day, rather than consuming them all at once, maximizes absorption. I've seen seniors increase their magnesium intake through food and appropriate supplementation and watch their fasting blood sugar levels drop by 20 to 30 points within weeks. Always consult with your healthcare provider before adding supplements, especially if you're taking other medications. Now, let's talk about strategy number 3, muscle preservation and building. This is absolutely crucial for seniors managing diabetes, yet it's often the most neglected aspect of care. Here's what happens as we age that directly impacts blood sugar control. Starting around age 30, we lose approximately 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade, and this loss accelerates after age 60. Muscle tissue is your body's largest glucose storage site. When you lose muscle, you lose your body's ability to effectively store and utilize glucose, leading to higher blood sugar levels and increased A1C. The solution isn't necessarily hitting the gym for intense workouts. For seniors, resistance training can be as simple as using resistance bands, light weights, or even bodyweight exercises. The key is consistency and progressive overload, gradually increasing the challenge over time. Research specifically on seniors with diabetes shows that those who engaged in resistance training just twice per week for 30 minutes saw significant improvements in A1C levels, often dropping by 0.8 to 1.2 points over 3 months. The exercises don't need to be complicated. Chair squats, wall push-ups, and resistance band exercises can be incredibly effective. But here's the part most people miss. Protein timing matters enormously for muscle preservation in seniors. Your body's ability to synthesize protein decreases with age, so you need to be more strategic about when and how you consume protein. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal, rather than loading up on protein at dinner like many people do. Strategy number 4 addresses something that's particularly challenging for seniors: stress management and its direct impact on blood sugar. Chronic stress releases cortisol, which directly raises blood sugar levels. For seniors, stress often comes from health concerns, financial worries, loss of independence, or social isolation. The relationship between stress and A1C levels is more pronounced in seniors because your body's stress response system changes with age. You produce stress hormones more easily and have a harder time returning to baseline after stressful events. This creates a chronic state of elevated cortisol, which consistently raises blood glucose levels. Effective stress management for seniors doesn't require meditation retreats or complex techniques. Simple, consistent practices work best. Deep breathing exercises, gentle yoga, regular social connection, and maintaining routines all help regulate cortisol levels. One particularly effective technique I've seen work repeatedly is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 7 counts, exhale for 8 counts. Done consistently before meals. This simple technique can improve post-meal blood sugar responses by helping activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Social connection deserves special mention here. Seniors who maintain regular social contact and feel connected to their community consistently show better diabetes management outcomes. Loneliness and isolation directly impact blood sugar control through stress hormone pathways. If you're feeling isolated, consider joining diabetes support groups, community centers, or even online communities focused on healthy aging. Now, strategy number 5 might be the most important, yet it's often completely overlooked in diabetes management: sleep optimization. Sleep quality and duration have a direct, measurable impact on A1C levels, and this relationship becomes even stronger as we age. Poor sleep affects glucose metabolism in multiple ways. It increases insulin resistance, elevates cortisol levels, and disrupts the hormones that regulate hunger and satiety. For seniors, sleep challenges are common due to medication side effects, chronic pain, or natural changes in sleep patterns. Here's what the research shows. Seniors who consistently get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep have A1C levels that average 0.5 to 0.8 points, lower than those who sleep less than 6 hours or more than 9 hours nightly. The quality of sleep matters as much as quantity. To optimize sleep for better blood sugar control, establish a consistent bedtime routine, keep your bedroom cool and dark, and avoid large meals and caffeine within 4 hours of bedtime. If you're taking medications that affect sleep, discuss timing adjustments with your healthcare provider. One sleep strategy that's particularly effective for seniors is the gradual light exposure technique. Spend time in bright light during the first hour after waking and dim lights gradually in the evening. This helps reset your circadian rhythm, which directly impacts glucose metabolism throughout the day. Let's talk about putting this all together into a practical daily routine. The key to success isn't perfection, it's consistency and gradual implementation. Trying to change everything at once often leads to overwhelm and giving up. Start with meal timing. For the first 2 weeks, focus solely on making breakfast your largest meal and dinner your smallest. Don't worry about changing what you eat initially, just when and how much at each meal. Track your blood sugar responses and note any patterns. Week 3, add the magnesium-rich foods and consider discussing supplementation with your healthcare provider. Week 4, introduce simple resistance exercises twice per week. Continue building gradually rather than attempting everything simultaneously. Monitor your progress not just through A1C tests every 3 months, but through daily blood sugar readings. Look for trends and patterns rather than getting discouraged by single high readings. Keep a simple log noting what you ate, when you ate, how you slept, and your stress levels alongside your blood sugar readings. This information becomes invaluable for identifying your personal triggers and optimal patterns. Everyone's body responds differently, and what works best for you might be slightly different from what works for others. Here is something crucial that many seniors do not realize: your A1C targets may be different from younger adults. The International Diabetes Federation recognizes that seniors with limited life expectancy or significant health conditions may benefit from less stringent A1C targets to avoid hypoglycemia risks. However, this doesn't mean giving up on blood sugar control. It means working with your healthcare team to establish realistic, personalized goals that improve your quality of life without creating unnecessary risks. For many healthy seniors, an A1C target of 7 to 7.5% is both achievable and beneficial. Let's address some common concerns and obstacles that seniors face when trying to lower their A1C levels. Fixed incomes can make healthy eating challenging, but there are strategies to eat well on a budget. Frozen vegetables are just as nutritious as fresh and often more affordable. Buying proteins in bulk and freezing portions can reduce costs significantly. Physical limitations don't have to prevent resistance training. Chair exercises, resistance bands, and light weights can provide effective muscle-building stimulus even with mobility challenges. The key is finding activities you can do consistently rather than pushing through pain or risking injury. Medication interactions are a valid concern. Always discuss significant dietary or exercise changes with your healthcare provider, especially if you're taking insulin or other blood sugar-lowering medications. Your medication doses may need adjustment as your blood sugar control improves. Family dynamics can also impact your success. Sometimes well-meaning family members discourage dietary changes or exercise efforts out of concern for your safety. Having honest conversations about your goals and involving supportive family members in your plan can make a significant difference. Technology can be a valuable ally in your diabetes management journey. Continuous glucose monitors are now more accessible and can provide invaluable insights into how different foods, activities, and stressors affect your blood sugar in real time. Smartphone apps can help track meals, exercise, and blood sugar patterns. However, don't let technology overwhelm you. Start simple and add tools gradually as they prove helpful rather than trying to use every available device and app from the beginning. Let's talk about realistic timelines and expectations. While some improvements in blood sugar control can be seen within days or weeks, significant A1C changes typically take 2 to 3 months to show up in testing. This is because A1C reflects your average blood sugar over the previous 3 months. Don't get discouraged if you don't see dramatic changes immediately. Focus on the daily improvements in energy, mood, and blood sugar readings. These day-to-day improvements are what lead to the longer-term A1C reductions. Seasonal considerations matter for seniors managing diabetes. Winter months can present challenges with reduced sunlight affecting vitamin D levels and mood, potentially impacting blood sugar control. Summer heat can affect medication storage and make exercise more challenging. Plan for these seasonal variations by adjusting your strategies accordingly. Indoor exercise options for extreme weather, light therapy boxes for winter months, and proper medication storage during heat waves all deserve consideration in your annual diabetes management plan. Emergency preparedness is particularly important for seniors with diabetes. Having a plan for medication access during emergencies, knowing the signs of both high and low blood sugar emergencies, and keeping emergency supplies readily available can prevent minor issues from becoming major crises. The financial benefits of good diabetes management extend far beyond the immediate health improvements. Better A1C control reduces the risk of expensive complications like hospital stays, emergency room visits, and specialist treatments. The strategies I've outlined can literally save you thousands of dollars in healthcare costs over time. Most importantly, remember that small, consistent changes compound over time. You don't need to achieve perfect diabetes management overnight. Each healthy choice you make contributes to better overall control and reduced complication risks. Your age is not a barrier to improving your diabetes management. It's simply a factor that requires adjusted strategies. The seniors I've worked with who see the best results are those who approach their diabetes management with patience, consistency, and a willingness to work with their changing bodies rather than against them. The 5 strategies we've covered: meal timing optimization, magnesium focus, muscle preservation through resistance training, stress management, and sleep optimization, work synergistically. Each one supports the others, creating a comprehensive approach that addresses the unique challenges seniors face in managing diabetes. If you found this information helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I regularly share evidence-based strategies for healthy aging and chronic disease management. Drop a comment below letting me know which strategy you're going to implement first. And don't forget to consult with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diabetes management plan. Remember, better diabetes control is absolutely achievable at any age. Your commitment to learning and implementing these strategies is already a huge step toward better health and a higher quality of life. Take it one day at a time, celebrate small victories, and stay consistent. Your future self will thank you for the efforts you make today. You know what's absolutely ridiculous? Being told at 70 years old that you need to start running marathons and lifting heavy weights just to lose a few pounds. I am about to share with you the exact weight loss method that helped my 78-year-old neighbor. Elisa dropped 23 pounds in 4 months without stepping foot in a gym, doing a single push-up, or breaking a sweat. And the best part? Her doctor was so amazed by her results that he started recommending this approach to all his senior patients. Now, before you think this is some miracle pill or crazy fad diet, let me stop you right there. What I'm going to share with you today is based on solid science and has been quietly helping seniors across the country achieve sustainable weight loss without the joint pain, exhaustion, and frustration that comes with traditional exercise programs. Here's the thing that nobody talks about when it comes to weight loss for seniors. Your body is fundamentally different now than it was in your 20s, 30s, or even 50s. Your metabolism has slowed down. Your hormones have changed, and your body's ability to recover from intense exercise has diminished. Yet somehow, fitness experts keep pushing the same old advice that worked for younger people. It's like trying to use a flip phone in today's smartphone world. The truth is, there is a much smarter approach that works with your body's natural changes instead of fighting against them. And it starts with understanding one simple principle that most people get completely wrong. Weight loss isn't about burning calories through exercise. That's actually the least efficient way to lose weight, especially for seniors. Think about it this way. A 30-minute walk burns roughly 150 calories. That's equivalent to about 1.5 cookies. You'd have to walk for over 3 hours just to burn off a single slice of pizza. Does that sound sustainable or enjoyable to you? The real secret lies in 3 key areas that have nothing to do with sweating in a gym. First, optimizing your metabolic rate through strategic eating patterns. Second, leveraging your body's natural fat-burning mechanisms that actually work better when you're at rest. And third, making simple lifestyle adjustments that compound over time to create dramatic results. Let's start with the eating pattern revolution. This isn't about restricting calories to the point where you're miserable and hungry all the time. Instead, it's about timing your meals in a way that maximizes your body's natural fat-burning windows. Your body has 2 primary metabolic states, fed and fasted. When you're in a fed state, your body is focused on storing energy. When you're in a fasted state, your body switches to burning stored fat for fuel. The problem is that most people eat so frequently throughout the day that they never give their body a chance to enter that fat-burning mode. Here's where it gets interesting for seniors. As we age, our insulin sensitivity decreases, which means our body becomes less efficient at processing frequent meals. By extending the time between meals, we can actually improve our insulin sensitivity and enhance our body's ability to burn fat. The simplest way to implement this is through a method called time-restricted eating. Instead of eating throughout a 12 to 14-hour window like most people do, you compress your eating into an 8 to 10-hour window. For example, if you eat your first meal at 10 in the morning, you'd finish your last meal by 6 or 8 in the evening. This isn't about starving yourself or skipping meals entirely. You're still eating the same amount of food, just within a more condensed time frame. Many seniors find this actually makes their lives easier because they're not constantly thinking about or preparing food throughout the day. The second component involves understanding your body's natural circadian rhythms and how they affect weight loss. Your metabolism naturally fluctuates throughout the day, with peak fat burning typically occurring during certain windows. By aligning your eating patterns with these natural cycles, you can amplify your results without any additional effort. Most people don't realize that your body burns the most calories while you're sleeping. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which helps maintain muscle mass and promotes fat burning. The quality and duration of your sleep directly impacts your weight loss success. Here is a fascinating fact. Getting just 1 extra hour of quality sleep per night can increase your fat loss by up to 30%. That's more effective than most exercise programs, and all you have to do is literally lie in bed. To optimize your sleep for weight loss, create a consistent bedtime routine, keep your bedroom cool and dark, and avoid eating large meals within 3 hours of bedtime. These simple adjustments can dramatically improve your sleep quality and consequently your weight loss results. Now let's talk about hydration, which is probably the most overlooked aspect of weight loss for seniors. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, and many seniors walk around in a state of chronic mild dehydration without even realizing it. Dehydration slows down your metabolism, impairs your body's ability to burn fat, and often gets mistaken for hunger, leading to unnecessary snacking. By simply ensuring you're properly hydrated throughout the day, many seniors see immediate improvements in their energy levels and weight loss progress. The key is to drink water strategically. Start your day with a large glass of water before any food or beverages. This kickstarts your metabolism and helps your body transition from its overnight fasting state. Drink another glass of water about 30 minutes before each meal. This helps with satiety and ensures you're not mistaking thirst for hunger. Here is something that might surprise you. Cold water actually requires energy to warm up in your body, which means you burn calories just by drinking it. While this effect is small, it's completely effortless and adds up over time. Another critical factor that most people ignore is the role of stress in weight gain, especially for seniors. Chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that promotes fat storage, particularly around the midsection. As we age, we often face increased stressors, health concerns, financial worries, family responsibilities, or social isolation. The good news is that managing stress doesn't require intense exercise. Simple activities like deep breathing, gentle stretching, meditation, or even spending time in nature can significantly reduce cortisol levels and support weight loss. One of the most effective stress reduction techniques for seniors is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups throughout your body. It can be done while sitting in a chair and takes just 10 to 15 minutes. Regular practice has been shown to reduce cortisol levels and improve weight loss outcomes. Social connection also plays a crucial role in stress management and weight loss success. Isolation and loneliness can trigger emotional eating and disrupt healthy routines. Whether it's regular phone calls with family, joining a community group, or simply having coffee with a neighbor, maintaining social connections supports both mental health and weight management. Now let's address the elephant in the room: muscle mass. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, which slows down our metabolism. The conventional wisdom says you need to lift heavy weights to maintain muscle, but there are gentler alternatives that can be just as effective. Resistance bands provide excellent muscle stimulation without the joint stress of heavy weights. Simple bodyweight exercises like wall push-ups, chair squats, or standing heel raises can help maintain muscle mass. Even activities like gardening, carrying groceries, or playing with grandchildren provide functional resistance training. The key is consistency rather than intensity. Spending 10 to 15 minutes a day doing gentle resistance activities is far more beneficial than sporadic, intense workouts that leave you exhausted and sore. Protein intake becomes even more critical as we age for maintaining muscle mass and supporting metabolism. Many seniors don't consume adequate protein, which can accelerate muscle loss and slow down weight loss. Aim to include a good protein source with each meal: eggs, fish, lean meats, beans, or dairy products. Here's an important consideration that many seniors overlook: medication effects on weight. Common medications for blood pressure, diabetes, depression, or joint pain can all affect metabolism and weight management. While you shouldn't stop taking prescribed medications, discussing these effects with your healthcare provider can help you develop strategies to mitigate their impact on weight loss. Sometimes, simple adjustments to timing or dosage can make a significant difference. Your doctor might also be able to suggest alternative medications with fewer weight-related side effects. Let's talk about portion control without feeling deprived. As our activity levels naturally decrease with age, our caloric needs also decrease. However, our appetite doesn't always adjust accordingly. The good news is that you can feel satisfied while eating appropriate portions through some simple strategies. Using smaller plates and bowls tricks your brain into thinking you're eating more food than you actually are. This psychological trick has been proven effective in numerous studies and requires no willpower or conscious effort. Eating slowly and mindfully also helps with satiety. It takes about 20 minutes for your brain to receive the signal that you're full. By slowing down your eating pace, you naturally consume less food while feeling more satisfied. Fiber is your secret weapon for feeling full on fewer calories. Foods high in fiber take more energy to digest and keep you feeling satisfied longer. Focus on vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. These foods also provide essential nutrients that become increasingly important as we age. Here's something that might shock you. The temperature of your environment can affect your weight loss. Keeping your home slightly cooler forces your body to burn more calories to maintain its core temperature. Even a few degrees can make a measurable difference over time. This doesn't mean you need to freeze yourself, but maintaining a comfortable 68 to 70 degrees instead of 75 can provide a small metabolic boost without any conscious effort on your part. Gut health becomes increasingly important as we age and directly impacts weight management. A healthy gut microbiome supports proper digestion, nutrient absorption, and even influences cravings and appetite. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut can support gut health naturally. Prebiotics, found in foods like garlic, onions, and bananas, feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. Supporting your gut health can lead to more stable energy levels, reduced cravings, and improved weight loss results. Let's address the psychological aspects of weight loss for seniors. Many people in their later years have tried numerous diets and exercise programs with limited success, leading to feelings of frustration and defeat. This negative mindset can actually sabotage weight loss efforts. Instead of focusing on restrictions and what you can't do, shift your mindset to small positive changes that improve your overall quality of life. Weight loss becomes a natural byproduct of feeling better and taking better care of yourself. Setting realistic expectations is crucial. Healthy weight loss for seniors is typically 1 to 2 pounds per week. This might seem slow compared to dramatic diet program promises, but it's sustainable and much more likely to result in permanent weight loss. Tracking your progress beyond just the scale can help maintain motivation. Notice improvements in energy levels, sleep quality, mood, or how your clothes fit. These changes often occur before significant weight loss shows up on the scale. The role of sunlight exposure in weight management is often overlooked, but particularly important for seniors who may spend more time indoors. Natural sunlight exposure helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which affects sleep quality, hormone production, and metabolism. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight can improve your sleep quality that night and support healthy weight management. If mobility is limited, even sitting by a sunny window can provide benefits. Vitamin D deficiency, common in seniors, has been linked to weight gain and difficulty losing weight. While sunlight exposure helps, you may also need to discuss vitamin D supplementation with your healthcare provider. Creating a supportive environment in your home can make weight loss effortless. Stock your kitchen with healthy foods and remove or relocate tempting snacks. Keep fresh fruits and vegetables visible and easily accessible while storing less healthy options out of sight. Meal preparation doesn't have to be complicated. Simple strategies like washing and cutting vegetables when you bring them home from the store, keeping healthy snacks portioned and ready, or preparing larger batches of healthy meals can make good choices the easy choices. Here's an important point about supplements that many seniors ask about. While there's no magic pill for weight loss, certain supplements may support your efforts. Omega-3 fatty acids can help reduce inflammation and support metabolism. Probiotics may support gut health and weight management. However, always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplements. The beauty of this approach is that it works with your body's natural tendencies rather than fighting against them. You're not forcing yourself to do activities that cause pain or exhaustion. Instead, you're making small, sustainable changes that compound over time to create significant results. Remember Eliza, who I mentioned at the beginning. She didn't make dramatic changes overnight. She started by adjusting her eating window, improved her sleep habits, and made sure she was properly hydrated. She added some gentle resistance exercises using resistance bands while watching her favorite TV shows. Within a month, she noticed her clothes fitting better. By month 3, she had lost 15 pounds. By month 4, she was down 23 pounds and feeling more energetic than she had in years. The most important thing to remember is that sustainable weight loss for seniors isn't about perfection. It's about consistency with small, manageable changes that improve your overall quality of life. Some days will be better than others, and that's perfectly normal. Start with just 1 or 2 changes from what we've discussed today. Maybe begin with adjusting your eating window or improving your sleep routine. Once those become natural habits, add another element. This gradual approach is far more sustainable than trying to change everything at once. Your age doesn't disqualify you from achieving your weight loss goals. With the right approach that respects your body's current needs and capabilities, you can lose weight, improve your health, and enhance your quality of life without spending hours in the gym or following restrictive diets that leave you feeling miserable. If you found this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more practical health tips designed specifically for seniors. Leave a comment below sharing which strategy you're most excited to try first. And if you know another senior who could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. Small changes can create life-changing results when applied consistently over time.
Hi, my name is Martha. I need to tell you something that's been completely mind-blowing for me lately. If you've been struggling with brain fog, anxiety, or just feeling mentally scattered, you absolutely need to hear about my experience with this audio program I discovered. I'm talking about something that literally changed how my brain functions, and I'm not exaggerating. A few months ago, I was in a terrible place mentally. My mind was constantly racing. I couldn't focus on anything for more than 5 minutes, and my sleep was absolutely horrible. I'd lie in bed for hours with my thoughts spinning out of control. Sound familiar? I was desperately searching for solutions when I stumbled across something called the Brain Song System recommended by Valencia, my fitness coach. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I first heard about an audio program that claims to rewire your brain using sound frequencies, I was incredibly skeptical. I mean, come on, right? How can listening to sounds actually change your mental state? But the science behind it caught my attention. This isn't just random background music or meditation sounds. We're talking about precisely engineered theta and gamma wave frequencies that target something called BDNF, which is basically a growth factor for your brain cells. I decided to take the plunge and ordered the original program directly from their official website. I wasn't taking any chances with knockoff versions floating around online. The moment I put on my headphones for the first session, something incredible happened. Within just a few minutes, I could literally feel the tension melting away from my shoulders. My racing thoughts began to slow down, and this wave of calmness washed over me that I hadn't experienced in years. But here's where it gets really interesting. After listening for just 3 nights, I started noticing changes that went way beyond relaxation. My sleep became deeper and more restorative. I was waking up feeling refreshed instead of groggy and anxious. During the day, my concentration improved dramatically. Tasks that used to feel overwhelming suddenly became manageable. The really wild part happened after about 2 weeks of consistent listening. I started experiencing this mental clarity that I hadn't felt since I was a teenager. It's like someone had cleaned the fog off my brain's windshield. Reading became enjoyable again. Work projects that used to stress me out felt almost effortless. Even my emotional responses became more balanced and controlled. What's happening here is fascinating from a neuroscience perspective. These specific sound frequencies are designed to synchronize your brainwaves and stimulate the production of BDNF, which promotes new neural connections. Essentially, you're giving your brain a workout while you relax. The theta waves promote deep relaxation and creativity, while the gamma waves enhance focus and cognitive processing. I'm here to tell you from direct personal experience that it's absolutely legitimate. The changes I've experienced are real and measurable. My productivity has increased, my stress levels have plummeted, and I actually look forward to bedtime now because I know I'll get quality sleep. The program comes with some incredible bonus materials too. There's a comprehensive brain reset manual that explains the science behind everything, a theta wave therapy guide that helps you maximize your results, and a deep sleep transformation plan that's honestly worth the price of admission alone. These aren't just throwaway bonuses either. They're genuinely valuable resources that enhance the entire experience. One thing I want to emphasize is the importance of getting the authentic version from the official source. There are fake copies circulating online that don't contain the proper frequencies, and they're obviously not going to give you the same results. The real program comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it completely risk-free. I've now been using this system for several months, and the improvements just keep coming. My memory has gotten sharper, my creativity has increased, and I feel more mentally resilient overall. Friends and family have noticed the change. In me, I'm calmer, more focused, and just generally happier. Here's what really convinced me this was something special. After about a month of use, I decided to skip a few days just to see what would happen. Within 2 days, I could feel my old patterns creeping back. The racing thoughts, the difficulty concentrating, the restless sleep. It was like someone had turned down the brightness on my mental screen. As soon as I resumed listening, everything snapped back into focus. The technology behind this is based on decades of neuroscience research into brainwave entrainment. When you expose your brain to specific frequencies, it naturally begins to synchronize with those patterns. It's the same principle used in high-end neurofeedback clinics. But now you can access it from the comfort of your own home. If you're tired of feeling mentally foggy, anxious, or scattered, I genuinely believe this could be the solution you've been searching for. The investment is minimal compared to therapy or medication, and the results speak for themselves. Right now, they're offering a special discount that makes it even more accessible. Don't let another day go by feeling less than your best mentally. Click the link in my description to get the Authentic Brain Song program while this special pricing is still available. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. Trust me, once you experience what it feels like to have a truly optimized brain, you'll wonder how you ever functioned without it.
Did you know that over 60% of seniors who planned their dream retirement trip never actually took it? They waited too long, health declined, or they simply talked themselves out of it. But what if I told you there are 7 countries specifically designed to welcome travelers over 60 with open arms, incredible safety records, and facilities that actually understand what mature travelers need? Today, we're ranking the absolute best destinations for senior leisure travel, and trust me, number 3 will completely surprise you. I'm about to share something that travel agencies don't want you to know. After spending 2 years researching senior travel patterns, interviewing hundreds of travelers over 65, and personally visiting these destinations, I've discovered that most seniors are choosing completely wrong when it comes to international travel. They're either picking places that exhaust them, destinations without proper medical facilities, or countries where language barriers create unnecessary stress. But here's the thing that changed everything for me. Last month, I met Eleanor, an 82-year-old from Portland, who had just returned from what she called the most incredible 3 weeks of her entire life. She wasn't traveling to typical senior destinations like cruise ships or tour buses. Instead, she had discovered countries that actually cater to mature travelers, places where being older is seen as wisdom rather than limitation. What makes a country truly senior-friendly goes far beyond having nice hotels or good weather. We're talking about healthcare systems you can trust, public transportation that doesn't require climbing endless stairs, restaurants that serve familiar foods, alongside local cuisine, and most importantly, cultures that respect and value older adults rather than seeing them as burdens. The countries I'm about to reveal have been evaluated on 8 critical factors. First, healthcare accessibility and quality, because medical emergencies don't take vacations. Second, transportation infrastructure that accommodates mobility concerns. Third, crime rates specifically targeting tourists over 60. Fourth, availability of English-speaking services. Fifth, cost of living that won't drain retirement savings. Sixth, climate considerations for those with health sensitivities. Seventh, cultural attitudes toward elderly visitors. And eighth, specific senior facilities and services. Before we dive into the rankings, let me address the elephant in the room. Many travel guides simply list popular destinations without considering the unique needs of senior travelers. They will recommend places like Thailand or Morocco without mentioning that navigating Bangkok traffic in a wheelchair is nearly impossible, or that many Moroccan riads require climbing steep, narrow staircases that can be challenging for those with mobility issues. Starting at number 7, we have Austria. This alpine nation consistently ranks among the safest countries in the world, with crime rates so low that many seniors report feeling more secure walking Vienna streets at night than they do in their own hometowns. Austria's healthcare system is world-class, with most medical professionals speaking excellent English and hospitals equipped with international patient services. What sets Austria apart for senior travelers is their approach to accessibility. Vienna's public transportation system includes buses that lower for easy boarding, extensive elevator access in subway stations, and audio announcements in multiple languages. Museums offer senior discounts, comfortable seating areas, and many provide free wheelchairs. The Schönbrunn Palace, for example, has created special senior tours that move at a slower pace and include frequent rest stops. Austrian culture deeply respects age and experience. Senior travelers often comment on how naturally helpful locals are, offering assistance without making them feel helpless. The country's cafe culture encourages lingering over coffee, making it perfect for those who prefer a relaxed pace rather than rushing from attraction to attraction. However, Austria does present some challenges. The mountainous terrain can be difficult for those with respiratory issues, and winter travel requires careful planning due to icy conditions. Additionally, while major cities are very accessible, some smaller alpine villages still have cobblestone streets and steep inclines that can be challenging. Moving to number 6, we find New Zealand. This island nation has become increasingly popular among senior travelers, and for good reason. New Zealand's healthcare system welcomes international patients, with many hospitals having dedicated international departments staffed by multilingual professionals. The country's small size means that medical care is never far away, even in rural areas. New Zealand's approach to senior tourism is particularly thoughtful. Many tour operators offer small group experiences specifically designed for mature travelers, with comfortable transportation, frequent stops, and accommodations that prioritize comfort over trendiness. The country's natural beauty can be experienced at any pace, from gentle walks through Hobbiton to scenic drives along the coast. What makes New Zealand special for seniors is the Kiwi attitude toward aging. Older adults are treated with genuine respect and interest, with locals often going out of their way to share stories and recommendations. The pace of life encourages conversation and connection rather than hurried sightseeing. The main challenges in New Zealand involve the long flight time from most countries, which can be exhausting for seniors, and the seasonal reversal that can affect those sensitive to time changes. Additionally, some of the country's most beautiful locations require moderate hiking, though alternatives are usually available. At number 5, we have Canada. This northern neighbor of US offers senior travelers a unique combination of familiar culture and exotic experiences. Canada's healthcare system is renowned worldwide, and most provinces have reciprocal agreements that provide emergency care to international visitors. Major cities like Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal have excellent medical facilities with English-speaking staff. Canadian cities are increasingly senior-friendly, with accessible public transportation, well-maintained sidewalks, and numerous rest areas in tourist districts. Many attractions offer senior discounts, and Canadian hospitality is legendary. The country's natural beauty can be experienced through senior-friendly activities like scenic train rides, gentle hiking trails, and accessible national park facilities. What seniors love most about Canada is the ease of communication and familiar customs combined with distinct regional cultures. Whether exploring French-speaking Quebec or the maritime provinces, seniors find enough familiarity to feel comfortable while still experiencing something new and exciting. Canada's main drawbacks for senior travel include harsh winters in many regions and the vast distances between major attractions. However, careful seasonal planning and focusing on specific regions can overcome these challenges. Now we reach number 4, and this is where things get really interesting. Portugal has emerged as the ultimate European destination for senior travelers. And once you understand why, you'll want to book your ticket immediately. Portugal combines old world charm with modern amenities, all wrapped in a culture that genuinely celebrates age and wisdom. Portugal's healthcare system punches well above its weight class. The country has invested heavily in medical tourism, with many hospitals offering concierge services for international patients. English is widely spoken in medical facilities, and the quality of care rivals much more expensive European destinations. What makes Portugal extraordinary for seniors is the lifestyle approach. Portuguese culture moves at a pace that suits mature travelers perfectly. Long lunches are encouraged, afternoon rest periods are built into daily rhythms, and evening activities often don't begin until after dinner, allowing for proper rest periods. The infrastructure in Portuguese cities like Lisbon and Porto has been modernized with seniors in mind. New trams and elevators help navigate the hilly terrain, museums offer comprehensive senior programs, and restaurants automatically provide comfortable seating and slower service without making guests feel rushed. Portuguese people have a concept called saudade, which roughly translates to nostalgic longing. And this cultural appreciation for reflection and memory creates natural connections between locals and senior visitors. Many seniors report having profound conversations with Portuguese locals who are genuinely interested in their life stories and experiences. The cost of living in Portugal is remarkably affordable for Western European standards. Quality meals cost less than appetizers in many other European capitals, and accommodation ranges from charming posadas to luxury hotels, all priced reasonably for retirement budgets. Portugal's climate is another major advantage. The country enjoys over 300 days of sunshine annually, with mild winters and warm but not oppressive summers. This climate is particularly beneficial for seniors with arthritis or other conditions that improve with consistent warm weather. Moving into our top 3, at number 3 we have Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Japan for senior travelers? Isn't that too complicated, too different, too challenging? This is exactly the misconception that is keeping seniors away from one of the world's most senior-friendly societies. Japan's approach to aging is fundamentally different from Western cultures. Age is associated with wisdom, experience, and honor. Senior travelers often report being treated with a level of respect and courtesy that exceeds their experiences in their home countries. This cultural attitude transforms the entire travel experience from potentially stressful to genuinely welcoming. Japan's healthcare system is among the world's best, with medical technology that often surpasses what's available in seniors' home countries. Many Japanese hospitals have international departments with English-speaking staff specifically trained to work with foreign patients. The efficiency and cleanliness of Japanese medical facilities is legendary. Japanese infrastructure is designed with aging in mind because Japan has one of the world's oldest populations. Public transportation includes priority seating, elevator access, and clear signage with English translations. Trains are punctual, clean, and comfortable, making travel between cities stress-free for seniors. The attention to detail in Japanese hospitality, known as omotenashi, means that senior travelers' needs are anticipated and met before they even realize they have them. Hotels provide slippers, comfortable seating areas, and staff trained to assist with mobility concerns without being intrusive. Japanese cuisine offers options for every dietary restriction and preference. Contrary to popular belief, Japanese food isn't all sushi and exotic ingredients. The country offers familiar foods alongside traditional options, and the presentation and quality of even simple meals exceeds expectations. What surprises most seniors about Japan is how manageable it becomes once they arrive. Despite language differences, the culture of helpfulness means assistance is always available. Many seniors discover that gestures and basic courtesy transcend language barriers more effectively than they expected. The main challenge in Japan involves the initial cultural adjustment and flight time. However, these concerns typically disappear within days of arrival as seniors discover how welcoming and accommodating Japanese society truly is. At number 2, we have Switzerland. This alpine nation represents the gold standard for senior travel, combining pristine beauty with infrastructure designed for comfort and accessibility. Switzerland's healthcare system is world-renowned, with medical facilities that attract patients from around the globe. English is widely spoken in medical settings, and the quality of care is exceptional. Swiss efficiency extends to every aspect of senior travel. Public transportation runs precisely on schedule, is impeccably clean, and includes features like priority seating and assistance for those with mobility challenges. The country's train system allows seniors to experience dramatic alpine scenery from comfortable, climate-controlled cars with panoramic windows. Switzerland's approach to tourism recognizes that seniors often have different priorities than younger travelers. Many attractions offer senior-specific tours that move at comfortable paces and include detailed historical information. Swiss culture values knowledge and experience, making conversations between locals and senior visitors particularly enriching. The country's commitment to cleanliness and order creates an environment where seniors feel safe and comfortable. Crime rates are extremely low, and Swiss efficiency means that everything from restaurant service to hotel check-in processes is smooth and predictable. Swiss cuisine offers options for every palate and dietary requirement. The country's location at the crossroads of European cultures means familiar foods are always available alongside local specialties. Many restaurants automatically accommodate slower dining preferences without seniors needing to request special treatment. Switzerland's main drawback is cost, as it's one of the world's most expensive countries. However, many seniors find that the quality of experience justifies the higher prices, especially when considering the peace of mind that comes with Swiss efficiency and safety. And finally, our #1 destination for senior leisure travel, Australia. This may surprise some people, but Australia has quietly become the world's premier destination for senior travelers. And once you understand why, you'll see why it deserves the top spot. Australia's healthcare system not only rivals, but often exceeds the quality available in most seniors' home countries. The country has invested heavily in medical tourism infrastructure, with hospitals offering concierge services specifically designed for international patients. English is the primary language, eliminating communication concerns that can complicate medical situations abroad. What sets Australia apart is its cultural attitude toward aging. Australian culture naturally includes and celebrates seniors rather than segregating them. This creates travel experiences where age becomes an asset rather than a limitation. Seniors often report feeling more vital and engaged in Australia than they do at home. Australian cities are masterfully designed for accessibility. Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane have invested in senior-friendly infrastructure including accessible public transportation, well-maintained walkways, and numerous rest areas in tourist zones. The country's beaches offer facilities that accommodate various mobility levels, from accessible boardwalks to equipment rentals. The diversity of Australian experiences means seniors can customize their trips to match their interests and abilities. Whether preferring urban cultural experiences, gentle nature encounters, or relaxing coastal retreats, Australia offers world-class options at every comfort level. Australian hospitality naturally accommodates the pace and preferences of mature travelers. Restaurant service is friendly but not rushed. Attraction staff are trained to assist without being patronizing, and tour operators offer numerous options specifically designed for senior groups. The climate in most of Australia is ideal for seniors, particularly those from colder regions. The consistent warmth helps with arthritis and other age-related conditions, while the outdoor lifestyle encourages gentle activity and social interaction. What truly makes Australia #1 is the combination of familiar culture with exotic experiences. Seniors can experience kangaroos and koalas while still enjoying familiar foods, English language entertainment, and cultural customs similar to their home countries. This combination reduces travel stress while maximizing adventure and discovery. The flight time to Australia can be challenging, but most seniors find that the journey becomes worthwhile within days of arrival. Many choose to make Australia part of longer trips, combining it with New Zealand or other Pacific destinations to justify the travel time. Here's what most travel guides won't tell you about senior travel. The countries that market themselves as senior destinations often aren't the best choices. Places that emphasize senior discounts or senior tours are often trying to manage older travelers rather than truly welcome them. The best senior destinations are places where age is naturally respected and accommodated, without being highlighted as something requiring special treatment. When planning senior travel, timing becomes crucial. Each of these countries has optimal seasons for senior travelers that may differ from general tourist seasons. Australia's shoulder seasons offer perfect weather with fewer crowds. Japan's spring and fall provide comfortable temperatures with stunning natural beauty. Portugal's winter months offer mild weather and fewer tourists, creating more opportunities for local interaction. The key to successful senior travel lies in preparation without over-planning. Book accommodations in advance, ensure travel insurance covers international medical care, and research local customs and basic phrases. However, Leave room for spontaneity and local recommendations. Some of the best senior travel experiences happen when plans change and unexpected opportunities arise. Technology has revolutionized senior travel in ways that many older adults haven't fully discovered. Translation apps eliminate language barriers, ride-sharing services provide safe transportation alternatives, and medical apps can translate symptoms and conditions for international healthcare providers. These tools transform potentially challenging situations into manageable adventures. The most important advice for senior travelers is to ignore age-related limitations that others impose and focus on personal interests and capabilities. The seniors who have the most rewarding travel experiences are those who approach new destinations with curiosity rather than caution, who engage with local cultures rather than seeking familiar bubbles, and who view their age as wisdom rather than limitation. These 7 countries represent more than just destinations. They offer opportunities for seniors to discover that their best adventures may still lie ahead. Whether choosing Portugal's relaxed lifestyle, Japan's respectful culture, or Australia's perfect combination of familiar and exotic, senior travelers can find experiences that enrich and energize rather than exhaust and overwhelm. The world is full of places that welcome seniors not just as tourists, but as valued guests with wisdom, experience, and stories worth sharing. The question isn't whether you're too old to travel internationally. It's which of these incredible destinations will become the setting for your next great adventure.